Hi everyone, it's Pastor John Teveno back again with a few minutes of meditation and music. Well, it's Mother's Day today, May 9th, 2021. And if you're a mother today, may God bless you because you have the most important job in the whole wide world. Now, we know today that people are ditching customs, they're ditching tradition, they're rewriting history, they're tearing down statues, they're trying to erase everything and start all over again. Some of them are calling it the Great Reset. Well, I'm not much into that, but I do know one thing. There are some traditions that are really not that bad, and maybe we need to think about them before we throw them out the window. And one of those is Mother's Day. And there's a lot of traditions, of course, that go along with Mother's Day at home and at church. And I picked up a tradition early in the 1970s when I was attending Westwego Assembly of God in Westwego, Louisiana. Yes, there is a town named Westwego, because it's the last stop, or it was at one time west before you took off toward Morgan City and Houma. But anyway, they always sang. I think it's Brother Radke, the good man of God, who was pastor of that church for so many years. I think it was his idea, but I can't prove it. They always sang at Mother's Day, and I learned that there, so I'm going to give credit to that wonderful church. They always sang, "If I could hear my mother pray again." Well, I didn't stay there very long. I was just there while I was working out on a barge in the Mississippi River. But my time there, I grew by leaps and bounds, and I also learned some good things, and I had some good experiences in the Lord that I still remember to this day. One of them was that every Mother's Day, if I could hear my mother pray again. And I like the song. And if you've been around me where I'm pastoring in church, you know that's a custom. Every Sunday of Mother's Day Sunday, we sing that song, "If I Could Hear My Mother Pray Again." And if I didn't announce it, it would be requested. Matter of fact, I knew some people come to church on Mother's Day just so they could sing, "If I Could Hear My Mother Pray Again." Well, this was written in 1922. The music was written by a man named J.W., or Whit as he was known, Vaughn. He wrote the tune in memory of his mother, Clara. And just before that time, there was a man named James Rowe, who was living, I think, somewhere in Georgia, who wrote the words. So the words met up with the music, and here we have in this good old redback hymnal. It's the only one. All these other hymnals don't have it. Good old redback hymnal, "If I Could Hear My Mother Pray Again." I think just hearing that title, even if you don't know the song, doesn't it do something to you? I'll read a couple of verses. "How sweet and happy seem those days of which I dream, when memory recalls them now and then. And with that rapture sweet my weary heart would beat, if I could hear my mother pray again." And the chorus says, "If I could hear my mother pray again, if I could hear her tender voice as then, so glad I'd be, 'twould mean so much to me, if I could hear my mother pray again." And with verse 3 it says, "Within the old home place, her patient smiling face was always spreading comfort, hope, and cheer. And when she used to sing to her eternal King, it was the song that the angels loved to hear. If I could hear my mother pray again." And there it says here in the last verse, "Her work on earth is done, her life crown has been won, and she is now at rest with him above. Some glad morning she, I know, will welcome me to that eternal home of peace and love. If I could hear my mother pray again, if I could hear her tender voice as then, how glad I'd be, 'twould mean so much to me, if I could hear my mother pray again." I hope that this song touches your heart. God gave me a talent for playing this piano, but he didn't give me a talent for singing. I wish he had, because this would be a good time you could all sing along with us. We could sing along together. If I could hear my mother pray again. If your mother's alive, you need to bless her on Mother's Day. And if she's deceased, you need to remember her and honor her on Mother's Day. So I'll play a couple of verses of that. I hope it brings some good memories back to you. If I could hear my mother pray again. I had a witness from somebody said that during World War II, this song became popular in the 1930s. I think in 1934, it kind of just made a big hit, you know. But they said that during World War II, when soldiers were out there in the battlefield, and when they were the most lonely or when they were the most scared, they said you could hear them singing this song on the battlefield. If I could hear my mother pray again. Think about that today. Apostle Paul writing to Timothy, his young disciple, his young preacher, he said, Timothy, can't wait to see you. He says, because I know when you do, you're going to be full of faith and you're going to be exuberant and you're going to be just busting out with everything from the gospel of Jesus Christ. He said, but buddy, he said, don't forget what you got now. You didn't get it by yourself. You got it from your grandma Lois and your mama Eunice. And the reason you got it is because they had it first. May God bless all our mothers today and take care of us. And may you have a wonderful Mother's Day. Amen.